Okay, we have No Rest for the Wicked, a new official game overview of The Breach. Released 8 days ago. I couldn't get to this because I was out of town, but I do want to watch it now. The game does look very interesting. I like how top-heavy every character looks. That's gross. So there's like a Souls-like, Diablo-like kind of game.
Hey everyone, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Gennady. Welcome to our second Wicked Inside.
We know a lot of you have been eagerly waiting to hear more from us since we shipped our last major content update.
Right after early access launch,
Ooh.
we spent weeks listening intently to your feedback while putting out numerous hotfixes and patches.
Then, after we felt that No Rest for the Wicked was in a good spot, we launched our first
That's a
big
big
content
sword,
update,
buddy.
The Crucible.
With the Crucible, we introduced fresh enemies, brand new systems, and a fun mode to keep everyone entertained
like a roguelike
while we
mode?
begin work on our next major content update. But it's been a while since then, and today we'd like to explain why.
Our publisher for No Rest for the Wicked was Private Division, a subsidiary of Take-Two Interactive.
Take-Two decided to sell off Private Division, which was unexpected.
Yeah, I was
news
wondering
for us.
about that.
After some
weird.
deliberation, we saw an opportunity.
After months of negotiations, we reached an agreement to buy the publishing rights for No Rest for the Wicked back so that Moon Studios could become fully independent. This legal process took time, and we couldn't say much while it was all happening.
But today, we're excited to announce that it's all done and that Moon Studios is now fully independent. We believe this will give you even more confidence in our vision because
Good for
we're free
them.
to build No Rest for the Wicked exactly how we want without needing to ever go silent again.
We've used this extra time to create something truly special. Let's take a look at The Breach.
Who's the old man?
The Breach represents the biggest content update we have ever shipped. We have heard you loud and clear. You wanted more out of our campaign. You wanted more story, more zones to play in, more enemies to fight, more bosses to test
How
your
short
metal
was their
against.
campaign?
In short, more of everything. And that is exactly what we have been focusing on.
Our story continues immediately following Ellsworth's return to Sacrament. He summons his daughter Odessa from her prison cell, and their exchange reveals more about their relationship.
Take the upper passage out, then leave by the northwest gate.
What are you doing?
God
Animations are
Bennett Sultan sleeps on
very,
duty,
very good.
And the ramparts above him will be unmanned.
Voice acting is
Head
very,
north
very
to
good.
Rumgard and Merin, or west to the Glades. Anywhere but here.
So that's it then.
You have to go.
As a Saren,
Bad.
players will have to venture forth into new areas we're introducing for the Breach. These are massive zones that essentially double the size of the world players got to explore so far. A lot has changed in the Sola Sacra since you've last visited. Southeast of Sacrament lies the Lowland Meadows, a once idyllic haven used by Sacrament's hunters to gather food and supplies. Ellsworth requests our presence on a secret mission, but a faction known as the Harvesters has taken over the region.
See? I told you this Saren would come, and here they are.
Indeed. Your presence is welcome here. My friend is convinced that some threat awaits us at the Weeping Sisters.
As always at Moon, when it comes to level design, we deliberately craft every single inch of our world by hand. We do not rely on any procedural generation, and we believe that ultimately that will allow us to create an insanely expansive, interactive open world where every inch actually matters.
It's a nice touch, if true.
Throughout your journey through the meadows, you will encounter all new enemies. We have also introduced 2 new weapon archetypes, gauntlets and wands. Let's take a look at how these new weapons can be used to take
The
down all
floppy
new
hat.
foes that you'll encounter.
The Timberwhite here will try to take your life with his ginormous great axe. We know some of you already loved being able to suplex enemies in Wicked.
You can what?
It was only appropriate we introduced a drop.
No shot.
It was
More
only
games need to
appropriate
have
we
that.
introduced a
That's
drop kick.
great. I love that. Come on. Do it again. Do it again. Oh, shit. That is sick.
Wormwood wretches and Limseed archers will keep you on your toes with brutal range attacks. Our Tremor Wave will make quick work of them. Rust Reavers present an
track
even
of.
greater challenge. Equipped with 2 huge saws, your best bet is to keep your distance and counter when you find an opening.
Ooh. Two-part attack. Oh, just one part.
Deeper within the meadows, the Copse Treader will try to block your path forward.
Ew. What the hell? Gross ass monster.
Study his movement patterns and keep a cool head.
Oh.
You might just prevail.
Get him. Get him. One more hit. Oh, he heals.
Obviously,
Ew.
we're also introducing
Oh, ew.
all new bosses for the Breach. But
God.
we don't want to spoil everything just yet.
We know a lot of you already enjoyed how much love and care we're
It's
putting
gross.
into all of these areas. Once again, we didn't shy away from really using verticality and hiding secrets everywhere.
We do love secrets.
Even though you'll often fight for your life in all of these zones, every now and then you'll get to enjoy a serene scene of beauty. Things have changed in Sacrament too. Caretaker Alden has arrived in town to plead for help dealing with the Blight, a plague infestation destroying his home of Marin Village.
Excuse me, is it true that Governor Ellsworth has already gone north with that madrigal? The guard said as much, but I wasn't sure. Many doors in Sacrament stay shut to us, Dasha.
And if you exit Sacrament through its northwestern gate, you will find yourself in the once majestic Marin Woods. Recently, the Marin Woods have been befallen by the Blight. It festered all
What are
throughout
those
the
blue
woods,
crystals?
and players will have to find a way past it
Ew.
in order to advance.
I don't like that.
The
Gross.
Belak Tor are ferocious fighters. The Stalkinche here knows how to wield a club, and if you're not careful, they might just call in reinforcements.
Oh, that's annoying.
Our new wands build are surprisingly effective. We can cast ice darts to
Dude, you
freeze
are
our
barely
enemies.
doing any damage. Oh shit! In your ass
Cold
kicked,
Slit
buddy.
is a powerful ice evasion attack.
Ooh, that was cool.
For the Heavy Feather, we'll use some more powerful spells our wands provide. We have since learned how to perform the Riven Twins Plague Explosion.
Ooh. Just grow some blueberries on the dude.
And if you have enough
Get your
focus,
vitamins, buddy.
Lightning Bolt makes quick work of any enemy.
The magic looks cool.
Halfway through Marin Woods, you'll encounter Marin Village, a peaceful woodland community of Isola Sacra.
First traveler I've seen in ages. I'm amazed you made it to our village at all, stranger. Hardly anyone comes here anymore.
10,000 blessings, Serim, for returning us to ourselves.
The villagers in Marin
Yeah, the
provide
tree on
new
his head.
services and sell different items than the ones in Sacrament.
My clod of a cousin still hammering away in Sacrament. Figured they would have run him off by now. Chased them out of town with their crooked pitchforks and bent spears. Might as well give it here.
In Marin, we will also meet Odessa's godmother, Ermgard, a connection to her Dasha heritage.
Dasha.
I
It's like the
remember when
tribal
my mother
people.
used to sing me to sleep. You did too. Same lullaby.
I remember you.
Will I see you there? All of us at one table again.
Facial animation looks very movie quality.
I'm not welcome in Sacrament.
And in a return to
Reminds
the
me of
Nimbus Pass,
Arcane.
we'll explore new areas within it, learning more about the forces of the mainland.
We will not tolerate any
Ew.
more doubt within your ranks, Primus. Not while we knock on salvation's door.
Discipline takes time. It's earned, not bought.
The born god disagrees. Discipline is forged. It is a tool, molded in flame.
They're gonna push him off the cliff.
Meanwhile, we'll continue the story of Madrigal Celine and her vanguard, who seek to liberate the lost city of Caelin.
We're incredibly excited about this new chapter in our campaign, but we don't want to spoil everything just yet.
Just yet. Maybe just don't spoil things, huh?
Our
Whoa.
intention for No
Long
Rest for the
video.
Wicked was always to provide players with an insane amount of content, even after they finish the campaign. After the events that unfold throughout the Breach, our Spilled Blood questline continues as any area within Isola Sacra can now be overtaken by the Pestilence. Once an area is infected, you'll suddenly have to fight enemies that you never encountered before in these areas.
That's good.
Defeat these
Replayability is
enemies,
always
and they
important.
might just drop all new Torn resources. Torn resources can be burned at any fire in order to further increase the challenge within an infected area.
Oh, this looks...
You will need to heavily
Crazy.
upgrade your gear and perfect your build in order to succeed.
Okay.
But greater challenge also means greater rewards.
Looks good.
Notice that with every
Getting
enemy
a
you
lot of
slay,
trash.
the pestilence spread meter at the bottom of the screen reduces. Slay enough enemies and you will have to overcome only one more obstacle.
Getting rid of the infection means ripping it out at its root. If you manage to defeat the plague boss within the infected area, the entire zone will be cleansed of the pestilence.
Damn, his one kick took half your health. Jesus.
Our life system has also gotten a huge update. You will now find many more factions being able to take over the various areas within Isola Sacra. Our goal with all of this is to change the way players think about retraversal in video
Bro,
games.
just being tickled by
We
that blue
ultimately
crystal.
want to make every return feel as fresh and as exciting as it was
Here?
the
I
first
don't know
time
what that
we
is.
played. And as you can see, we also introduced entirely new levels within the areas you're
Oh.
already familiar with.
Good touch. Good way to add more to
In order
areas
to
you've
aid
already
players in
explored.
achieving the perfect build, we introduced quite a few changes that will make progression a whole lot more streamlined and fun. First off, we have revamped the way gear drops. We replaced the tiered approach and came up with a formula that takes the player level, the area level, and the enemy level into account, which results in an experience where any gear that drops will be approximately within your level range.
Good.
Now,
That should have
gear
been a
that
thing
used
at the
to
start.
only drop in earlier zones might just drop again, but at a higher level.
Okay.
We tried this out,
like it.
and we ultimately see a much higher variety of gear throughout our playthroughs. We think it's a much more enjoyable looting experience.
Another big aspect that defines your build is, of course, the enchantments.
Enchantment.
So far, if your gear didn't drop with the enchantments you needed, your item would never reach its full potential. But we came up with a solution. If an item dropped with less than maximum possible amount of enchantments, you can now use a Fallen Ember to add another random enchantment to it. And if you have an enchantment on one of your items that doesn't quite fit your playstyle, Fallen Embers can now be used to re-roll that particular enchantment. Of course, Fallen Embers are also still used for respeccing your character, which makes Embers insanely valuable now.
We also introduced a new
they
weapon variant,
don't gimp us on the amount of Fallen Embers we get.
Any Masterwork starts out as just
that's a lot of things
item.
to use Fallen Embers on. And you have to really like pick and choose. That'd be kind of annoying.
If you decide to forego the RNG aspects of Wicked, you can bank on gems in order to fully customize your item. Gems will now show you exactly what effect they'll have, depending on which item you slot them into.
As it should.
In our case here, we want to craft a build that heavily relies on and synergizes with focus. The benefit of common items is that we can completely customize them. Once we've fitted the maximum amount of gems into them, they now become a masterwork.
In general, we've introduced a whole slew of new weapons, runes, and armor sets.
The armor
We've
sets
also
look cool.
iterated on our list of enchantments
Very
in order to
diverse.
enable the creation of entirely new builds, while ridding ourselves of the enchantments that led to overpowered builds.
Christ.
Given that and the new loot drop algorithm, the sky is the limit when it comes to build variety.
They're a transmog system.
We also conducted a major balance pass on our stats, and we noticed that quite a lot of you didn't use shields all that much.
Oh.
So we changed the way they work. Instead of draining stamina, shields are now based around poise and stagger, and we try to ensure that each shield archetype feels unique. So we can't wait to see all your new sword and board builds.
Interesting. I like that take.
Last but not least, if you've become a master at playing No Rest for the Wicked, you should try our new hardcore characters.
I don't need to
Permadeath
play
is
that.
enabled for these, so once these characters die,
Bro.
they get downgraded to non-hardcore characters that can only be played on regular realms.
Yeah.
I wonder who will be the first
Interesting.
player to slay the Aconite with a hardcore character.
Definitely not me.
Naturally, we also spent quite some time introducing a wide range of quality of life features and polished up what you've played so far of No Rest for the Wicked. For example, we've noticed that a lot of your houses looked similar to this one.
A bunch of chests all over the
Storage
place.
has always
Yeah.
been incredibly important
Makes
in any ARPG. On our current live builds, players can stack all that many items, and sorting hasn't been ideal yet. Let's switch over to our Breach update. We fixed that right up, and now allow players to stack a whole lot more items within their chests. And items now also get sorted in a beautiful
99 the
way.
max.
While we're in our home, we can show off another cool feature we added. We've added Whisper
Fast travel.
Stones, which enable fast travel to and from your house.
Nice.
So if you just want to quickly drop off items and gear while you're out and about, instead of having to first warp to Sacrament and then run to your home, you can now save that one step.
They should have just went
Remember
with
that you can
Pillars
place
of,
one Whisper Stone
not
per house,
Pillars, Path of
so if you own
Exiles.
multiple ones, you can even fast travel
And just
between them.
Diablo's thing. Just portal back. That portal stays open, then you can just go
Our
back
next change
into
regards food cooldowns.
the realm and just continue fighting.
We've removed the classic cooldowns entirely. Now you can consume meals instantly.
Wait, it's in what?
Entirely. Regards food cooldowns.
Oh, food.
We've removed the classic cooldowns entirely. Now you can consume meals instantly.
Oh. Eat your soup, boy.
However, your stomach is no longer a bottomless pit. You have a limited number of meals you can eat during combat.
That makes sense. As it should be.
You'll be able to upgrade this limit through Plague Ichor, letting you extend how many times you can heal or buff yourself in battle. This new approach aims to make combat more engaging and dynamic, rather than forcing players to just wait for a timer.
I like that. Sometimes too many timers really just impedes the fun factor of a game.
Time ticks ever forward.
I think replacing cooldown
We know
with
timers
more
and
mechanics
project wait times
makes sense.
have been a major
And mechanics you
discussion
can
point in our
upgrade
community.
even better.
We're adding a new feature so you can contribute food and ingredients to make Adanas' workers, speeding up whichever building project they're currently tackling.
The building. Interesting.
We're always listening to your feedback, and we will keep iterating on the system. If you have thoughts, please keep sharing them.
And of course, we've been hard at work meticulously optimizing performance. If you notice any poor performance in a machine before, the Breach update should drastically improve your experience. Speaking of improvements, our DLSS implementation has been updated to a newer version, which results in much crisper image and even better performance. And these are just a few highlights. In total, we are counting more than 11,000 changes since we shipped the Crucible update.
Working hard.
Before we dive deeper, we'd like to clarify how you'll access the breach.
I really
You will need to
hope
replay
this game
No
really
Rest for the Wicked to
succeeds.
fully experience
I think
this
they
update.
deserve that.
Old saves remain
This
in the
game
legacy
looks
build,
pretty good.
but this approach ensures the breach is integrated as seamlessly as possible into the game.
The breach.
We realize this might be a surprise for some. Ultimately, the scope of the breach and the underlying changes led us here. But don't worry, you'll discover plenty of fresh content, quests, and loot to make restarting your journey worthwhile.
Let's discuss our roadmap next. It goes without saying that we will heavily support the breach for the upcoming weeks after launch. You will once again see us react incredibly quickly to all of the feedback you guys might provide.
But we're also already hard at work on our
wonder how
next
big their
content
team
drops.
is.
We've received hundreds, if not thousands of pleas begging for the co-op update, and we know that our original roadmap had co-op before the breach. Rest assured, it will be the next thing we launch after this update.
This game would be very fun with co-op too.
The reason we ultimately decided to switch these updates was because
Wonder
we wanted
how
people to have more content to
drops
play
will work.
once co-op releases.
Would it be
With the
instant?
Breach update, there will be now a lot more content to explore with your friends.
After the co-op update, we'll be following up with more improvements and new systems. We'll expand Sacrament, improve housing, introduce farming, expand the Crucible, and of course,
That's a
finish
lot
the
of stuff.
campaign with more story and more quests and bosses. And we're very much aware that a lot of you finally want to play No Rest for the Wicked on all major consoles.
We have a ton of things planned to further improve on the foundation that we've laid so far, and we're excited to keep discussing all of these new releases and changes with you as we go along.
Also, today marks the 10th anniversary of Ori. We released Ori and the Blind Forest on March 11th,
Oh, I didn't even know they
2015.
made Ori.
It's been a wild ride for all of us here at Moon. So today,
Right. But before we wrap up, there is one more thing.
What do you got?
And this one is near and dear to our hearts.
Hello everyone, I'm
Who are
Gareth
you?
Coker. My story with Moon Studios began more than 15 years ago when I received a message on an internet forum from them asking me if I'd be interested in composing the music for a small indie project. 4 years later, that small project blossomed into Ori and the Blind Forest. Now, we were all very young
Never
and
played
just
it.
getting started, so for our second release, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, we set out to perfect everything about the original, and I couldn't be more proud of what we were able to create
They make
together.
very nice
But
looking games.
our journey is not yet over. I'm happy to announce that I've been hard at work crafting an unforgettable score for the story, the characters, the
Okay.
locations, and the boss fights of No Rest for the Wicked.
It was all about the music.
And you will
I believe it. Thanks, buddy. Game looks so good. The Breach. April 3rd.
Control loss. Initiating
Okay.
emergency landing
procedure.
Stop. All right. No rest for the wicked. Game looks very, very good. I'm glad the devs are very passionate about this game. They are definitely cooking. Well, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you're playing this game or not. I definitely am. All right. See you guys later.